and notebooks. I didn't buy a lot of notebooks because they're heavy and I already have 1 million of them. But I did buy a few because I wanted to. This is just a little sketchbook from Muji, a little passport-sized insert from Muji. And they call this a picture book notebook from Muji. I thought it would be a cute little square journal. And they have these, I think Kikuyo makes them. Yeah, Kikuyo makes them. And they're sort of all over the place. They call them sketchbooks, but they have a tiny grid paper in them. So I bought one. I think I actually already own one that I've never used. But I bought this one at the Tokyo National Museum. So just like a little souvenir from there, I guess. They're very thin, but they're hardcover. The paper's high quality, but it's got these tiny little grids on it. Not exactly what I would use for sketching normally, but who the hell knows what'll happen. And then I also got this one from Moruzen, mostly just because I wanted at least one accordion style notebook from there. So I got this one because I thought it would be fun to try to fill an accordion style notebook. So I'm going to do that. And then the real fancy notebooks we got from Katamori, where you make your own notebooks. This one I had my husband make the decisions on. And this is what he came up with. Ooh. What a fancy little pamphlet it comes with. So he chose this cover, and then also this cover. This, I believe, is made out of kimono fabric, which is obviously extra super fancy. This side's just paper. I mean, it's paper on cardboard or whatever. A nice little leather seal. And then he picked out some colored paper as well as some ivory paper, and he put these little dividers in between. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use this for yet, but I will figure out something, and it will be amazing. And I think this is the pencil board that comes with it. So that's the one that he designed for me, obviously, because he has used the same notebook now for as long as I've known him. And this is the one I designed. So his was B6, I think, and I did a B5. So I chose this cover as well as this cover because I like them both. And then I got another leather snap. We also did just the top and the bottom spirals because that's what I liked best. And I did a bunch of different papers in here. I did a section of craft paper. And then I did a section of I did a divider, a red divider. And then I did a section of watercolor paper. And then a green divider. And I did some green paper. And I think this last section is just blank writing paper. I can't remember. They have a lot of different types of blank paper to choose from. And then I also got this pocket in the back. And a pencil board. So those are the notebooks we made. And is it pen time yet? Let's see. It's almost sort of pen time. These are very pen-like implements. So these, I'm covering this up, these are what I bought at Kakamori. And then I also included these here because it needed a little color on this group of items. So these are actually chopstick holders that I bought when we were buying some chopstick souvenirs that I decided to get as pen rests. And then these are from Kakamori. So I got 3 color liners. So these you can dip into fountain pen ink. And then they have like a little brush tip. So you can use them like a felt tip brush pen, but it's fountain pen ink that you're using. So I thought that was fun. And then I bought 3 of the Kakamori inks. I tried them all out while I was there. And actually, let me see if I can get the paper I used. Aha! So they have these papers for you to try their inks on. So I tried each one of their inks. Those are my scribbles there. And I picked out 3 that I liked. So I got this one, which is Poe. It's this color right here. Sort of like a, I mean, the bottle, it looks red. And it is pretty red, but it's you know, it's not quite as saturated when you use it as it looks in this bottle. These are pigment inks, which I don't fully know what that means, and I might research it before I use them, but I like the colors, and I figured I was at Kakamori, I might as well get some of their darling little inks. So this one is Topuri, which is this blue. Again, it's very saturated looking in the bottle. I guess that's because it's a pigment ink. And I actually only remembered after I left the store that you could get different tops, like wooden ones and metal ones. So I just have the generic plastic ones, but that's fine because I don't have to be fancy with everything I do. And this one I half bought because I like the color and half bought because I like the name. It's To. It's sort of that purpley pinkish looking one there. Looks very muddy in the bottle. But really I just like the name To. So that's why I got that. And then I figured while I was there, I mean, I only heard of Kakamori originally because they make these dip nibs. The metal dip nibs with the grooves, which I'm sure many of you have heard of before. And I actually already own one, but I figured while I was there I should get one. And I got this Sakura wood holder for it. So yeah, you know, when in Rome, or I guess when in Kakamori, do as the Kakamorians do. I'm not even sure I'm saying that right. Kakamori? I don't know. Anyways, now it sits on a banana. 'Cause it's funny. Okay, last stop before I get to the proper pens, I swear. But these deserve a special mention. Because when I asked for recommendations about what to get in Japan, pretty much the only response I got was from Inkdependence, and he said, try some Athena inks from Moruzen. So while I was there, I decided to get some. They were actually sold out of a lot of the colors, and you're also only allowed to buy 1 bottle of each color, which I could have, you know, tricked them and had my husband buy some, but they were actually, they only had single bottles of the colors I liked. So I actually don't know their names, except for, I know I got Eternal Blue, and then I got 2 other colors. One is bluish, and one is yellowish. I can't remember what the names are, although I can Google them, I'm sure. This is the yellow one, I can tell by looking at it. That probably says the name and just needs to be translated. But I got 3 of those, and besides Kakamori, these were the only 3 inks I got, because again, they're hard to transport, even though a lot of the Japanese inks there were very, very cheap. I still didn't get a lot of them. And now, onto the lower tier of pens. So I did buy some fancy pens, but I also bought some lower level ones, I would call them, especially compared to the other ones I got. I got 2 of these Lamy Safaris. I'm not a big Lamy person at all, but they had these Japanese limited editions of Field Green with a gold clip that they had just released, and so I got a couple because, you know, I was there. And actually I tried the kanji nib, which is what this is, and I really liked it. So I got one with a kanji nib, and then I got one with a normal nib. Because, hey, $35 Japan exclusive pen souvenir, I'm there. And then I also built a couple pens at Ancora, where you can take different parts of Sailor pens and build your own. I forget the model name. It's like a Prophet Junior or something. It's one of their lower end pens. I think you can do a bespoke, higher end Sailor pen, but you're only allowed to do that if you live in Japan, which I do not. So I got a couple of the cheaper ones. This one I can't show you because it looks like it's sealed and it's a present from my mother. So you won't see that. But I will show you the one that I built for myself because that did not get wrapped up. Come out, pen. So they didn't have a ton of color options, but I did like the clear cap. I always love a nib window. And so I did a little different color section, a little mustard yellow to contrast with the blue. And then I forget what they called these, like buntings or something like that. So yeah, I built that little pen. And I've also built one for my mother, and I can't show you, like I said, but hers has a limited edition barrel. So it's sort of clear and sparkly. So that was a fun find. And big boy pens. I'm going to start with, the cheapest and work my way up, I guess. This one is a secret. Don't tell anyone because it's not for me. It's a present for my mother. But I want to show you anyway. It's a custom 74 in red wisteria, which I didn't know that they make, but it's apparently an exclusive in Japan. It's like a pinky purpley color. And yeah, I got it for her in a fine medium because it was either that or broad. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. I think I found out a lot of things existed when I was in Japan, and this is one of them. So there you go. Custom 74 in red wisteria. And then next, this is the one pen I sort of went in knowing I was going to buy, which is an 823. Nothing really special about it, except I almost bought it many, many times. But knew I was going to Japan, knew it would be cheaper there, and so waited until I got there, and then I bought it. And I got it in a medium. So there's that one. Yawn. What a boring pen. Just kidding, I love it. And then my second to fanciest pen I got at Moruzen is a Sailor King of Pen. It's just a plain black one. That's really all they had. They had it in the Pro Gear, and then they also had it in the, the round one. I'm so good at knowing words and pen things. But I tried it while I was there, and I really liked the nib, and it was much cheaper there than it is in the States. So I got it. Sailor Pro Gear King of Pen in black. I do think maybe one day I'll have a Urushi artist do something fun to the body. We'll see one day if that happens. Go back, King of Pens. And then the biggest pen of all. You've met the king, but have you met the emperor? So I definitely did not have this in mind to buy while I was there, but I touched it and I loved it. And it cost literally less than half of what it costs in the States to buy it there. And that is a Namiki Emperor in Yarushi Red. This is an enormous pen, especially in my dainty little hands. And of course, the enormous number 50 nib is insane. And it's got the red feed to match the pen body. And it's eyedropper fill. I haven't inked it yet, of course, but I imagine it holds a ton of ink. Yeah, so like I said, I didn't plan on buying this. And actually, I didn't buy it. My husband bought it for me for an anniversary / Christmas present. But the second I touched it, I loved it. And like I said, it was such a steal to get it in Japan. Versus what you would pay in the States, that I had to do it. It's beautiful and I love it. And this is real life. So I think that's all I have to show you. Ooh, ah. And yeah, stay tuned and you'll see my journal flip through soon, I hope, and you'll get to hear more about my Japanese adventures as I flip you through my journal. So stay tuned. Bye!